Hi guys, hope you're all well. Welcome back to another video for Motorhome Retrofits, and today's video is a bit of an educational video. So this is a 2024 Swift Contiki. It doesn't make any difference really what model we're in, but it is one of the facelift Ducato 8 vehicles with the newer steering wheel, the different air vents and the upgraded dash. Now this particular model and video is all about the factory fitted Uconnect series. So this is the biggest in their range. It's the Uconnect 10, and below that there's also the smaller model, 7-inch, and also the 5-inch. The 7-inch model also comes with this volume knob, so only the 10 and the 7. As far as I'm concerned, I stand corrected, come with this additional volume knob that allows you to turn the system on and off, allows you to do volume, and allows you to do mute. But of course this is all done on data, so if the key is out the ignition and you turn the system on with this, it's only going to stay on for about 20 minutes. That can't be changed, it's data controlled. Now we get asked the question all the time, and as you are already hopefully avid followers and watchers of our videos for our YouTube channel, you see that we have taken out loads and loads and loads of these. Today's video is about telling you about the pros and cons of taking it out, what we have to interface with, and the problems that we also come up with. Now at the same time, we're also got Tom underneath the vehicle running a nice leisure battery supply all the way from the back of this motorhome to the front, that's then going to come up to here, hole in his dashboard, and then when he's ready he can just flick it on and the Alpine Halo will come on without the keys in the ignition and without worrying about a flat battery, because the battery is all in the back and it's the leisure one. Now this particular customer has got a mammoth leisure battery system, so he could probably run this single-handedly for months and months on end without having to worry about it. So the leisure battery is just an addition, but it's one of the main reasons why people want to upgrade from this system. So this system sits in here nicely, comes from factory with a lot of these vehicles. We see them all the time. Unfortunately, they're built to a budget. They look good and they're okay. They're slow, they're laggy. The volume goes up to 38, but it's really not very loud. Now, even though this customer has already had our triple audio package because he was one of the first, so he's got subwoofer, amplifier, Eaton door speakers and sound deadening, we've had to interact with the speaker line levels at the back of the system. So I'm going to take this away and show you this. This, believe it or not, is hidden deep within there, and you have a bit of a fight taking all this out to get rid of this. And the screen plugs into here like so, and that's all it is on the back of the screen, is the screen and the HST or HST-D FACRA type connection, and that is a way of interacting with this. But this is the main brain of it all, and you've got data. So we've got our CAN bus, we've got our main power and speakers. This one is never plugged in. We've got GPS, we've got FM, we've got DAB. Not sure I've ever seen anything plugged into here, or this one. This is the USB down underneath here. This is data. This is the factory fitted camera. Now, there's a lot to think about, because we can't just go and take all this out and unplug it without the factory system or the Fiat getting upset. And it doesn't matter whether you've got a Fiat, Citroen or Peugeot. If it's on the same Fiat Ducato chassis, then you're going to end up with one of these. If you've got the smaller model, then this assembly is actually on the back of the screen. It's only on these big 10-inch systems that it's all separate and modular. So we have now removed all of that, and we are left then with all of our cabling. Now, before we started filming this video, it's taken me quite a long time to cloth tape, using our Tessa cloth tape, every one of the connections that we've removed that we don't need, because of the fact that plastic on plastic makes a horrible noise and rattles, vibrates behind the dashboard, and that's frustrating. And quite a few of you have noticed that we do take extra time clothing everything up. And the reason why we cloth everything up is because we want to be able to fit this and the customer enjoy it rather than have vibrations and other annoying things. So we need to interact with the Alpine Halo with a dedicated CAN bus interface. CAN bus is data, and we interact with the usual plugs. Here's your data, here's your power and speakers. And this is the little CAN box, little box of tricks here that does the things we need it to do. It will retain steering wheel controls. It will stop the odometer flashing if that was even a problem on the newer models, which I've not seen to date. It will give you reverse trigger. It will give you speed pulse. It will retain your digital climate control if you've got this fitted. And then what we do is we also retain the FM FACRA, the DAB FACRA, and on this model we're retaining the GPS FACRA so that we can go straight in and offer as much seamless integration as possible. However, this is not just straightforward stuff. There's a reason why people are getting frustrated with these 10-inch Uconnect systems and these 7-inch and the 5-inch, and that's because they are really frustrating to work with. Now, if you have the virtual dashboard or the virtual cockpit, which is what this vehicle has here, most of them do have this. We've seen a few that don't, but we also have a big binnacle or housing up here. Invariably up here is the light glass and wiper sensor, but it's also got the forward-facing camera for traffic sign recognition. Luckily for us, this vehicle doesn't have traffic sign recognition, but if it did have traffic sign recognition, we're going to say to the customer, for whatever reason, we don't know yet, we fed the information back to Alpine, but with traffic sign recognition, it means that it's been reversed. We've taken out the main brain that talks to the Fiat, and even using diagnostic software, we have tried our very best, but the minute you remove it, miles per hour changes to kilometers an hour, and kilometers an hour to miles per hour. We've been in, we've tried to customize it, we've tried to align it, we've tried everything, and even on the Alpine that is able to view all of the previous menus that were available on the old radio, you can toggle between miles per hour and kilometers an hour, but it doesn't do anything on here. So it's work in progress. Could be software, but that's something to bear in mind. Traffic sign recognition is then backwards. Also, if you have factory fitted rear parking sensors or front, we don't see many of the front, but if you've got factory fitted rear sensors, this creates the beep. And the minute you remove this, you lose that audible tone. So your parking sensors will offer a visual up on the Alpine, no problem. Still got the little visual indicator up here, but you will lose the indicator. And because it's also lost the ability to do reversing sensor chime or in any kind of chime or buzzer, the traffic sign recognition overspeed warning, you lose that too. But that doesn't really bother most people because most people turn it off because it's really annoying. So that's traffic sign recognition. You also lose the buzzer for the parking sensors, but the other thing that's causing some grief between a lot of you people out there is if you have a red FACRA connector connected in here, and when you put your vehicle in reverse, you have got the factory fitted reversing camera, we are unable to retain it. Now, at that point I say we are unable. A year ago, 2025, we did a video of how to retain factory fitted camera in an Adria with this system, and it was an Italian interface. It wasn't cheap, but it became and proved to be unreliable, so we don't offer it anymore. We've gone back to Alpine and said, look, what have you got? But they've got a very similar interface that comes with similar connections, and it works in the same respect. It allows you to plug in the factory high definition camera into this interface and it downscales it to what they call a composite signal. And unfortunately, that's not reliable because it's a little bit glitchy. So if you do have factory fitted cameras, you are going to lose those as well. We can't retain them. If you've got aftermarket camera, no problem at all. As it happens, this customer's not bothered because we'd already fitted our premium 360-degree high definition system. So when I said to the customer, look, you're going to lose traffic sign recognition. I don't have it anyway. Fine, brilliant. You're going to lose parking sensors. They're aftermarket, not a big deal. You're going to lose reversing camera. That's fine. Don't use them anyway because I've got your 360 system. So for this customer, it's all worked out fine. But if you are thinking of upgrading and replacing this lackluster Uconnect factory fitted system, they're the things that you need to think about that you can either live without or you might not be able to live without. So that's something to think about. Going back to the leisure battery switch, because this is controlled fully on data, once we've fitted the Alpine, this will still work because of our CAN bus interface that we use that's made by Alpine or made by another company, Alpine market it. That allows you to retain all of these features and functions. This still works, but it will still turn off after 20 minutes because it's data controlled. However, we are then overriding it with this little rocker switch. And we can then, without the key in the ignition, flick on the switch and the Alpine can stay on for 24 hours a day if you wanted it to, independently, nothing to do with the engine battery or vehicle battery that's underneath my feet. And that's another main reason. You've got wireless Apple CarPlay, you've even got wireless Android Auto using one of our plug-in dongles. You've got a Class D amplifier, you've got dual USB capability that we'd run up into this top glove box for convenience and for best kind of signal. You've then got all the other features and functions that an Alpine will give you, including an 11-inch high definition display, which is really, really nice because you can also tilt the display and you've got a storage pocket. So here's the pros and cons of removing the Uconnect system and replacing it with an Alpine Halo. I felt like we needed to do this video because every time somebody gets in touch with us to give them a quote for an Alpine Halo that they seem to want to go for, I have to ask so many questions, and it's only fair that we then educate you guys by saying, look, this is what we do every day. It's our job to advise and communicate with you. So we're going to carry on with the installation. As you can see, I've got all my cables ready to go, nice and neatly cloth taped. We've got our FM, we've got our DAB cable, we've got our GPS cable, we've got our main power loom, we've got our data loom, and we've got our microphone loom. And all we've got to do then is run a separate microphone because we can't retain the one that came in the vehicle. So that will sit somewhere up by the interior light section here. And then we can use a genuine Alpine fitting kit to put it all in here, make it look nice and neat and functional. So we'll come back at the next part of the video and show you all that going in. Okay, so van completely put back together. Halo 11 now installed. all fully tested. We've made sure that it's still working with our subwoofer, amplifier and speakers that we'd already fitted probably about a year ago now. And we have fitted our dash mounted rocker switch, which goes all the way underneath the vehicle in Copex tubing up into the back garage area or back bedroom area, lounge area, connected to one of the Mammoth leisure batteries in here, so that this means now this has nothing to do with operation of the Alpine Halo. I'm going to flick the switch. Lovely blue light up on the switch here, and it just means then that the Alpine is in and on and working. So that's all good. Customer can relax knowing that he can still listen to music and sound all the way around the vehicle and without worrying about the engine battery. So in this video we have covered the pros and cons of removing the factory fitted radio and the benefits in terms of what you're going to get, the functionality and the ability to use it without the key in the ignition. As I said earlier, if you do have any concerns, questions, queries, or anything else, then please do get in touch with us via the contact form. We're only as good as what we do every day, and we are learning every day. We've been in business for many years now, over 20 years, but every day is a school day, and that's why you know, we find with stuff like that, the more of these vehicles we work on, the more we can find out problems with various bits and pieces and report it back to the manufacturers. Luckily this customer doesn't have traffic sign recognition. Luckily this customer doesn't have factory rear sensors, but has lost his high definition reversing camera, but it doesn't matter because we'd already fitted the 360 system. That's it. End of story, end of video, end of job. Customer's going to be chuffed to bits, and if you, before you go ahead and commit with us or anybody else, and you've got the factory fitted system that we had explained at the beginning of the video, please do get in touch with us and we can hopefully help. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't already. Follow us on social media, website links in the bio. Thanks for watching. Catch up on the next one.